Hello student, welcome back to our MSc First Physics semester 2nd course, that is Atoms and Molecules, and our subject code is a PSCT 1 to 2, and this is our 9th lecture. And in this course we are studying our 4th module, that is a resonance spectroscopy. And in that module we have two resonance spectroscopy, that is first one is a ESR resonance spectroscopy and second one is the NMR resonance spectroscopy. And in our previous lecture we have covered the ESR resonance spectroscopy and we have started the NMR spectroscopy. And in NMR spectroscopy we have covered all topics, nearly all topics, but we left with the some topics, that is remaining topics, and they are the applications of the NMR spectroscopy and the difference between the NMR spectroscopy and ESR spectroscopy. So we have to study these two topics in this lecture. So let's start with the NMR spectroscopy applications. So first application is the NMR spectroscopy is a spectroscopy technique used by a chemist, biochemist to investigate the properties of the organic molecules, although it is applicable to any kind of sample that contains nuclei possessing spin. We know that NMR spectroscopy is a very important spectroscopy to investigate the material or sample, and this spectroscopy is used by the chemist or biochemist to investigate the properties of the organic molecules. In generally we can investigate about the organic molecules, and this spectroscopy is applicable for all kind of samples who possesses the nuclei spin. So this is the NMR spectroscopy application. For example, the NMR can quantitatively analyze mixture containing known compounds. Suppose we have a compound and we know the mixture of the different elements or species in that compound, then we can quantitatively analyze the mixture of that element or that species in the compound. So this is the main example for the NMR spectroscopy applications. NMR can either be used to match against spectral libraries or to infer the basic structure directly for unknown compounds. As already mentioned, if we know about the mixture or the composition of that particular compound, then also we can analyze that sample or that compound. But if we have unknown compound, then even if there is an unknown compound, we can also study the properties of that compound. So this is the applications of the NMR spectroscopy. Once the basic structure is known, NMR can be used to determine the molecular conformation in solutions as well as in studying physical properties at the molecular level, such as conformational exchange, phase changes, solubility and diffusion. We know that in NMR spectroscopy we can determine the conformation of the molecule in a solution as well as in a studying physical properties of the sample at the molecular level, and the properties are, that is the physical properties are the conformational exchange, phase changes, solubility and diffusion. These all are the physical property we can study with the help of NMR spectroscopy of a given sample. Now the NMR is used in a different fields. So the fifth field is the fifth application in the material science field. So the NMR spectroscopy in a solid state can be used to investigate new materials of great technological importance, such as glasses, ceramics, polymers, synthetic membranes and superconductors. That means we can investigate the different materials with the help of NMR spectroscopy, like a material that is glasses, synthetic membranes, superconductors, ceramics, polymers. All those things we can investigate with the help of NMR spectroscopy, and all those things are in a solid state. Furthermore, it can be used to investigate reactions taking place in analytical surface. That means if we have to study the analytical the catalytical surfaces, that is a reaction taking place at the catalytical surface, then we can use the NMR spectroscopy. Now the sixth one is the food chemistry field. NMR spectroscopy can be used in verification of the wine aging and authenticity, as well as in identification of oils, fatty constituents. We know that in food chemistry, that means in a food industry, the NMR spectroscopy is used for the verification of the wine aging as well as authentication, and also it is used in a oil industry to identify the oils, fatty constituents. So this is the application in food chemistry. It can also contribute in an investigation of the mechanism that are responsible for food decomposition without the need of sample destruction, as it is common with the classical chemical analysis techniques. That means we know that there are many industries or there are many factories where the food is a food decomposition takes place, but with the help of NMR we can investigate the mechanism that are responsible for the food decomposition without need of sample destruction. That means there is no sample destruction. So it is a common with the classical chemical analysis techniques. So this is the best application in food chemistry. Now, high resolution NMR techniques have found interesting applications in the analysis of complex mixture of various extracts of natural products. We know that many of elements are compound found naturally, and here we can extract these natural compounds. That means we have various extract of natural compounds, and if we have to or we are interested to find out the applications in analysis of complex mixture, that means we have to find out the or we have to study this complex mixture of various extracts of natural products, then we can use the NMR spectroscopy, that is a high resolution NMR techniques. Now the in a clinical application, how the NMR spectroscopy is used. So NMR has found numerous applications in the localization and characterization of metabolites in a biological fluids in vivo and in vitro, and thus it can be utilized in the diagnosis of many kind of diseases. That is, in a clinical application, the NMR spectroscopy is used to investigate or to diagnosis number of disease. So this is the very important application in a biological field or in a clinical field. Now NMR acts as a microscope. That means with the help of NMR we can study at a very microscopic level. NMR spectroscopy exhibit a variety of technological applications such as the detection of microscopic defects in a plastic tubes, the diamond localization in order to avoid breakings during the procedure that follow their excavation. So this is the application of NMR microscope. That means how we use the NMR microscope. The NMR microscope is used to study the microscopic defects in a plastic tubes as well as in the diamond localization. So with the help of NMR spectroscopy we can study the breaking of the sample or breaking in the different materials during the formation. So this is the NMR application. NMR microscopy can also provide valuable information about the fruits ripening, the best conditions for the food handling, and even about the best cooking temperature conditions. So unpleasant surprises with frozen fruits returning home after shopping could be avoided. That means with the help of NMR microscopy we are able to get the information about the ripenings of the fruits. So due to this technique we can avoid the shocking of the or the unpleasant surprises when we buy the frozen fruit and returning home after shopping. So if we have the bad experience in shopping with the frozen fruits, that means there are some defects in that fruits, so we can avoid this already with the help of NMR microscopy. That means we can study the, or we can able to obtain the valuable information about the fruits ripening, so we can avoid this. Now in the NMR spectroscopy is used in a magnetic tomography. But what is the magnetic tomography? NMR spectroscopy uses only radio frequencies. We know that in NMR spectroscopy only the radio wave frequency region is absorbed in a electron from the electromagnetic spectrum. Indeed, the identification of different kind of tissues as well as the visualization of organs movements consists a very important field of Medicare applications known as a magnetic tomography or magnetic resonance imaging. In short, we call it as a MRI. That means the in terms of magnetic application or in terms of medical application, the NMR spectroscopy is used for the identification of different kind of tissues as well as the visualization of the organs movement, and this is in the Medicare applications, and this technique is known as the magnetic tomography, or also it is known as the magnetic resonance imaging, that is a MRI. So this is the best application of the NMR spectroscopy in the medical field. So all those are the applications of the NMR spectroscopy. There are huge applications of the NMR spectroscopy. In that we have covered few applications. Now what is the similarities between the ESR spectroscopy and NMR spectroscopy? So the similarities between the ESR and NMR spectroscopy: nuclear magnetic resonance, that is NMR spectroscopy, and electron spin resonance, that is ESR spectroscopy, are two widely used spectroscopic techniques to infer structure and properties of complex molecules, even biomolecules such as proteins. As already we mentioned in application, nuclear magnetic resonance spectroscopy as well as the electron spin resonance spectroscopy, those all are the two different techniques, but they have similarities, and in both techniques we use the spectroscopic techniques to use or to infer the structure or to study the structure and properties of the given complex sample or complex molecules. Even if we can study about the biomolecules such as proteins, that means the proteins have very complicated structure, but even if we can study these complex structure with the help of NMR spectroscopy and ESR spectroscopy. So this is the similarity between the ESR and NMR. Second similarity is the both these methods use angular momentum, that is pure spin or total angular momentum of relevant particles to extract molecular structural information. That means in NMR or in ESR, if we have to investigate a particular sample, then we have to study the molecular structure of that sample, and this is done with the help of, we are studying the electron spin of that sample or the nuclear spin of that sample. So the common thing is we can study about the pure spin of that sample or total angular momentum of that sample, and this is common in both techniques, that is in ESR as well as in the NMR. So these all are the similarities between the ESR and NMR, but there are many differences between the NMR and ESR techniques. So the comparison of ESR with the NMR. So in the first column there is electron spin resonance, that is a ESR spectroscopy, and in second column nuclear resonance spectroscopy, that is a NMR. In ESR spectroscopy, molecules in a state containing unpaired electrons, that is with the non-zero spin angular momentum, molecules in a non-singlet state, that is S is a non-zero where S is a total spin, are placed in a constant magnetic field. We know that in ESR, if we have to investigate a sample, then we place the sample in a presence of or in a external magnetic field, and which is a constant, uniform and strong magnetic field. But here we only consider the unpaired electrons in ESR spectroscopy, that means with non-zero spin angular momentum. That means there must be a sample with unpaired electrons. So the non-singlet state, that is S, is a non-zero. That means the total spin in that sample is a non-zero. That means this sample must have the spin angular momentum. So this is the condition for the ESR resonance. But what is the condition for the NMR spectroscopy? So in NMR spectroscopy, a composite system of nuclei in molecules with non-zero nuclear spin, that is capital I is non-zero, is placed in a constant magnetic field. In NMR, we also place the sample in a constant magnetic field, which is also strong, powerful or uniform magnetic field. But in a NMR, we are only consider the nuclei spin, not electron spin. Here we consider only nuclei spin and with non-zero nuclei spin. That is the total nuclei spin in that sample is a non-zero. That is the nuclear spin, that is a capital I, is equal to non-zero. So this is the condition for NMR. So this is the difference between the ESR and NMR for the spin. The ESR spectrum resulting from the transition between the molecular states with different MS components contains chemically relevant information. That means in ESR we are generally interested in only electron spin, and there is a transition between two energy levels in ESR with a different MS value, where MS is the magnetic spin quantum number. So MS, which is either plus half or minus half, according to that we get the transition between these two molecular state or energy state, and this contains the chemically relevant information, and due to that we are able to study the chemical information about that species. For example, the ESR spectrum of unpaired electrons in a transition metal complexes contains information on the how ligands are arranged around the metal ion. If we consider the example of transition metals or transition metal complexes, and this sample or this compound contain the chemical information, and with the help of ESR spectrum we can study the how ligands are arranged around the metal ion in the transition metal complexes, and this is all due to there is a presence of the unpaired electrons. So this is the ESR spectrum. In NMR, the NMR spectrum resulting from the transition between the different states of nuclear spin system contains a wealth information regarding chemical environment of the nuclei, and this is used to extract structural information of molecules. In NMR, there is an important factor, that is a nuclear spin, and there is a transition between different states of nuclear spin. That means the states having two different nuclear spin, and only in that or in those states there is a transition, and due to that we can study or we are able to obtain the wealth of the information regarding the chemical environment of that nuclei. So in this way we can obtain the structural information about the sample in the NMR. So this is the difference between the ESR and NMR. Now the next is the different energy states are produced due to the alignment of the electronic magnetic moments relative to the applied magnetic field, and transition between these energy states occurs on the application of an appropriate frequency in the microwave region, that is 3 to 400 gigahertz. As already we mentioned in our previous lecture, the ESR spectroscopy falls in the microwave region, which having frequency that is 3 to 400 gigahertz. And in the ESR we have the different energy states due to alignment of the magnetic moments relative to the applied magnetic field. Here in ESR the important alignment of the electronic magnetic moments, and this is all happens due to the external magnetic field and due to that there is a transition between these two energy states, and all this happens in the presence of an frequency of the microwave region. So this is the ESR spectroscopy. But in NMR spectroscopy, different energy states are produced due to alignment of nuclear magnetic moments related to applied magnetic field, and the transition between these energies states occurs on the application of an appropriate frequency in the radio frequency region, which having frequency lies in between 300 and 1000 megahertz. The NMR spectroscopy falls in the radio frequency region, which having frequency that is 300 to 1000 megahertz, and in a nuclear magnetic resonance, if we place the sample in a presence of external magnetic field, then there is a alignment of nuclear magnetic moments, and due to alignment of nuclear magnetic moments we have the some total magnetic moments along the direction of field as well as opposite to the direction of field. That means there are two possibility: along the direction of field, alignment along the direction of field, and alignment opposite to the direction of field. So we get the transition between the two energy levels, but when we have the appropriate frequency in the radio frequency range, then and then this happens. That is this is the actually resonance in the NMR, and this is the resonance in the ESR. That means the resonance condition occurs at appropriate frequency range, that is in a microwave region, and in a presence of external magnetic field there is a transition between two energy levels. So this is the resonance condition in ESR. But in NMR, in a presence of external magnetic field, if we study the nuclear magnetic moments, or due to nuclear there is alignment of nuclear magnetic moments, and there is a transition between two energy levels when there is a appropriate frequency in the radio frequency region. So this is the resonance condition in the nuclear spin resonance. So this is the actual difference between the NMR and ESR. ESR absorption positions are expressed in terms of G values. That means in ESR the absorption peaks occurs in the spectra, and these absorption positions are expressed in terms of G values, where G is the splitting factor or Landage's factor. That is a spin G factor. We can call as a electronic G factor, where G is a splitting factor. That means this is due to hyperfine splitting. So in the ESR spectra we get the different peaks absorption, different peaks, that means we get the absorption lines, and this is all due to hyperfine structure, that means due to G values. And in NMR the absorption positions are expressed in terms of chemical shift, and in NMR we have the different peaks. That means we have there is a change in the position of the peaks, and this change is occurs due to the main concept, due to the chemical shifts in that particular compound. So this is the difference between the splitting in the or position of the absorption lines in the ESR and NMR respectively. The coupling of an electronic spin with the nuclear spin, that is a hyperfine coupling, causes the splitting of the ESR signals. That means there is a splitting effect in the NMR as well as in ESR, but in ESR it is happened due to the electron spin, the coupling of the electron spin and nuclear spin, that means the hyperfine coupling. And in NMR, nuclear spin coupling causes the splitting of the NMR signal. In NMR there is a coupling between the two spins, that is a spin coupling, and due to that we get the splitting in the NMR signals. But in NMR there is a coupling between the electron spin and in ESR there is a coupling between the electron spin and the nuclear spin, that is a hyperfine coupling. So this is the main difference between the ESR and NMR for the splitting of the signals. So this is the basic difference between the NMR spectroscopy and ESR spectroscopy. So up to this we have covered all topics which comes under ESR spectroscopy as well as the NMR spectroscopy, and we have completed our fourth module, that is the resonance spectroscopy. And in our upcoming video we have to start with the new module, that is the spectroscopic techniques, and this is third module. So in our upcoming video we will continue with the third module.